There we go, turning down the volume. Welcome to the Surrounded by Details podcast, ladies and gentlemen. With me, Stevo, I am your host, and thank you so much for tuning in. It is August the 1st, 2017, and that means we are just about to enter fight week, because one championship in Macau is gonna take place this weekend. Kings and Conquerors on Saturday, August 5th. We're gonna have a press conference. There is gonna be another event this month by One Championship in Kuala Lumpur, August 18th. We're gonna talk about that as well. But before we do that, we're gonna start with saying thank you to our sponsor and supporter, the Dreamcatcher Bar, Hostel and Cafe here in Bangkok. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to discover the beautiful city of Biggity Bangkok, then please make sure to check in with Dreamcatcher Hostel. And before I forget, I also need to do the transition of our thumbnail, so the whole starting soon thumbnail will change to my precious work of artwork that I have prepared here. And what are we going to talk about today? As I said, we're going to preview on the events, and of course I couldn't do that alone / by myself. That's why I'm going to call up a precious person who is just writing to me on social media. And let me just type him. I am just talking about you. Calling you on Skype. The wonderful machine of social media makes it possible to talk to people from all over the world whenever you want. That is something that we highly appreciate. With that being said, let us go to the phone, which is connected to my Skype, obviously, and give Mr. Bear Frazer a call. We hear it dialing. New Skype signal.
Steve-O.
Bear Frazer, how are you?
Good, I heard you were just talking about me.
Yes, well, I would like to talk about your mohawk, but I thought I saved it until you actually come on. How are you, my friend?
I am doing well. Just got done eating dinner and I was training earlier, so I'm doing terrific today. It's it's Tuesday right now, is it not?
Yeah, in Bangkok it's Tuesday, but you are located in the United States of Trumpland, where it's
there you go.
where it's actually 11 p.m. in the evening, correct?
Well, it's 11:02, but yeah, I mean, in Trumpland right now it's 11:02. Yes.
Oh man, so you were basically still at the beginning of the fight week. We already moved forward one day into fight week. How excited are you about the month of August with all the upcoming One Championship events in Macau and Kuala Lumpur?
Dude, it's amazing. Like, just looking at these cards, it's just incredible. And I mean, this is just August. I mean, the way it seems to be going is like every one show seems to be getting better and better. And, you know, looking forward to September and October and the end of the year. I mean,
yeah, it's just
we're all in for a treat, dude. Yeah, right?
Yeah, and especially the Macau event, man. When I'm having the card in front of me, and I told you before, I have never been prepared for a podcast like I have been today, because I know you bring the knowledge to the table, so I didn't want to look like a complete newbie or out of track, so I actually prepared myself a little bit, and I have the One Championship card of Macau in front of me, and I want to dive straight into it with you, because we have no time to lose. And I don't know, if you look at the Macau card, what fight is hitting your eye immediately?
I knew you were going to ask me. I knew that was going to be the first question. I was actually just sitting at my computer looking at this entire card. I'm like, he's going to ask me which one am I looking most forward to? And that is such a difficult question, man. I mean, there's just so many great matches on this card. I mean, Christ, so hard. I think if I have to pick two, and I won't pick the main events because that's the main events, everyone's looking forward to that, I'll just pick up two that I'm eyeing in particular. One is Chen Li and Saiful American, the opening to the pay-per-view, looks like. So I'm looking forward to that bantamweight clash, just because Saiful, I mean, he's such a great guy. He's been through so much heartache in his life, and he's just persevered, and he's just an incredible striker, and he's always bringing excitement there. And if you remember Rockman Chen Li, who might have the best nickname in the business at Rockman, he totally rocked Jeremy Masai's at one Dynasty of Heroes, and he survived the initial excitement, and then he just went in for it at the end within that first round. So I'm looking very much forward to Rockman Chin-Lee and Seifel the Vampire American. And I really hope that Seifel walks out to Smashing Pumpkins Bullet with Butterfly Wings, because it starts out with the world is a vampire. So I think that would be amazing.
As I see, you pay attention to the details. We love that. But you said you looking forward to 2 fights. Which one would be your second one?
The other one is Joshua Pasio and Hayato Suzuki.
Yeah, that one is highly on my list.
Yeah, because, right now I got to give the edge to Pasio because he's got some better hair. But I think this might determine the next number 1 contender. I mean, you got Pasio, who just beat Crew Wrong back at Warrior Kingdom, and he's looking for a rematch. And then you got Hayato Suzuki, who is very similar in style to Yoshitaka Naito, the current strawweight champion, and he's undefeated. So, I mean, this is going to be a very interesting match. I haven't really got to check out Suzuki as much as I would like, but from what I hear, from the little bit I've seen, I'm really, really amped up to see his promotional debut. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in this 3-round affair.
Yeah, Japan is strongly represented on this card, and as you said, Joshua is on, he's quite on a streak, because he fought the champion, then he fought Dej Damrong, who is highly experienced, and he had a good fight. Also against Naito, I think he had a great fight, until he actually got submitted in the 3rd round by rear naked choke. So a rematch would make loads of sense to me, but Hayato is, as you said, on his debut here in one championship. How much do you think has Joshua done researching a fighter who hasn't fought for one? Because one kind of is getting more stacked, and you need to keep an eye on upcoming fighters and on new fighters from different promotions.
Well, he seems very confident in the match. He has a solid game plan from what I hear, and over at Team Lakai, they're always training. They're looking for the weak spots, and they're always trying to sharpen them. I mean, just over the past few years, I mean, they did a lot of wushu. I mean, clearly that's what they're known for at Lakai, right? But we've seen such a evolution of the ground game. So I wouldn't be surprised if Joshua has been working on his grappling over there, which is what Suzuki's known for. So it's going to be a really exciting one. So we'll see. I'm sure he's pretty prepared, but whenever you got a guy who's coming in from Japan, just debuting in a major promotion like one, you don't know sometimes, but they got confidence, and it's going to be, I think at the end of the day, people like you and I and the fans win, because we get to see it.
Definitely. And it's quite an age difference here too. So again, Joshua's up to somebody who is very experienced, and I think Suzuki is 31 and he's 16-0. So would it be the first loss to Suzuki? I don't know. That it's a fight where I would like to see it before I make any prediction. And I told myself before we start this podcast, I'm not gonna make any predictions because I have to take photos of the fighters. I don't want to get punched in the face. All I can say at the end of the day is that this is definitely one of my favorite fights on the card that I'm looking forward to. And it will also be interesting to see Suzuki back in the cage because he fought last in February as far as I know. And you want to stay a little bit more busy actually than just fighting once or twice a year, don't you?
Yeah, and you know what? I think the very interesting thing, and I wrote about this on OneFC.com, I got to interview Suzuki, and apparently he had a neck injury at the top of the year. So he's all healed now, but still, whenever you come back from like an injury, you always have to wonder how they're going to react in the cage. Like, you look at Timothy Nasuyukin. He's going up against Koji Ando, and he's coming off that broken tibia from defending honor back in November when he fought Kotetsu no face Boku. So
yes,
that's another guy. That's another fight I'm looking forward to, and that's another guy I'm really interested to see how he reacts. Because, I mean, broken leg, broken tibia, that's serious business. You might be over it physically, but emotionally, will it be different when you're in the cage, right? Like, will you be more hesitant? Will you go right into it? I mean, you can train it all day, but until you're in the cage, that might be a different story.
Yeah, that is a thought that has been wandering on my mind for a long time as well. And if people have been following, I was shooting that fight where he was fighting Boku and broke his ankle. And I had a shot exactly at the moment where he stepped on the canvas and the whole ankle just breaks and his foot goes to the left. I posted that on social media. I might do a repost for the people so they can see how nasty that actually is. But first of all, respect for that you could say Timofey's last name so perfectly. That's why I keep to the first name, because the last name is just impossible. I think the first part of the last name pretty much tells the story of him. Nasty. He comes out fast, man, and he is a knockout artist. I mean, if I think back against Robert Lisita at one championship, 43 Kingdom of Champions, March 2016. First round after 6 seconds. I don't know, is that the one championship record?
Yeah, it might be. I don't know. There might have been another 6-second one or another 8-second one, but that's definitely nothing to sneeze at. I mean, he's got hands, but I mean, that's a highlight reel if there ever was one, right?
Yeah, that's for sure, man. And the Russians are also on a run. But on the other hand, you have the name, where we go, Koji Ando, who is, comes off a loss. One championship in April 2016, a long time ago he fought for one championship. I don't know, has he been injured in between, or why the break? Do you have any further information for us?
I mean, he might have been injured, but I definitely know he's been working on setting up his own gym in Japan called Never Quit MMA. Okay. So he's been preoccupied with that. Whether he might have been nursing a small injury, who knows, but he's just been focusing on getting his gym up and running. And now I guess he found the time where he feels the gym is stable and he can probably work it in his schedule, and he's back to his passion. He's ready. He wants to go back and get the titles. So he already lost to Shinya a little while back, but he's refocused and everything's all good with him. So this will be interesting.
Yeah, that was in 2015 when he lost to Shinya Aoki. That's another guy I would like to see come back this year after his loss against Eduard Foliang and then the grappling match. But that is not the time and place to talk about that. Talking about the fights of Macau, we started off here with Joshua and then with Timofey. But I have to say, man, all the way from the bottom, the whole prelim card could be a card for itself.
Yeah, this is... What is going on there? Oh my gosh. Is somebody knocking at your door?
No, it's because I moved. I had to move out our old studio. So where I live, they just finished construction. There's a few things left. You can hear that, but the audience actually can't hear that because the audio is edited and I have a little background gate in there. My apologies for that.
Oh, well, for the audience who can't hear it, it's a ghost named Roberto who is knocking on the door. And we are not letting him in unless the Scooby-Doo Detective Agency stops by.
I never saw those movies, by the way.
Oh, man, you missed out, man. Your German childhood, I swear. But, no, this undercard, the preliminary card looks absolutely incredible. I mean, usually you get 3 fights, and we've been blessed to have 5 fights on here. I mean, you got middleweight division that's kind of in limbo, like who's going to get the next shot. Maybe one of these next 4 gentlemen will be the next title contender if they can have an impressive victory. Who knows? You got Herbert Burns and Magomed Idrisov who are going for the
Russian again.
Affair. I know the Russians and the Japanese are representing. You got Dynamite Tony Toru and Leandro Issa, who's making his illustrious return. That should be a ground battle, but knowing it's going to be a ground battle, it might actually end up being a stand-up fight, right? Then you got Rika and Jamari Torres. I mean, this is just an incredible card. I'm just really excited to see it go down. I'm getting up early to watch it, and I'm going to be watching it all day. I'm going to love it, man.
But I have to speak a little bit about Tony Tauro here, because if I'm not mistaken, he didn't have the brightest past, because he comes off a loss against Kevin Bellington. I'm going to come to that as well. He's going to fight Reese McLaren in Kuala Lumpur. What an insane fight that's going to be. Then he won against...
that's the fight you're looking forward to most for the whole month of August, maybe 2017.
Yeah, I agree. I've been talking about those two fighting each other or maybe getting a rematch with Bibiano. I don't know. Basically, ever since Reese lost in December in Manila, yeah, man, it's an amazing fight. However, let's not get ahead of ourselves. My question here is: Tony has been losing against Kevin, then he won against Geiji Eoestuakui, or however you say that name. I'm sorry for butchering it. Yeah, and then he comes off 3 losses there. I mean, how important is that fight to Tony to win?
Well, I would imagine it has to be important if he wants to stay in title contention. I mean, a lot of the guys he's lost to have been studs. I mean, Bellingham, Evie, for example. But, I mean, Leandro Issa, this guy challenged for the inaugural bantamweight title back in the day. So, I mean, this guy's still a young guy, actually. He's probably just hitting his prime right now. So,
well, Tony is 32. Yep. That's not that young anymore.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Leandro, too.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Oh, they're both around the same age. I mean, like, you can argue nowadays that, like, the prime's in the 30s, man, but early 30s. But I mean, this is you got to say this about Tony. He's not taking he's taking difficult matches, man. So I give so much respect to him just for that alone.
The hammering keeps going on here on the apartment next door. I don't know what he's doing there because the apartments are not that big and they are full with furniture. So I'm wondering what he is doing. Hopefully not killing anybody. However, let's move on with a little bit more pleasant subjects here instead of killing. Somebody that has been killing in the past, but unfortunately got injured at the beginning of the year is middleweight contender Prachnio, who was supposed to fight the champ or the former champ Vitaly Bigdash in January in Jakarta or Kuala Lumpur. I can't really recall. Your thoughts on that fight?
Oh, yeah, top of the year. Top of the year, they were supposed to in January, actually.
Yeah.
I'm looking real forward to that, especially because, I think it was my first event, right? I saw Gilbert fight. Gilberto, rather, I'm sorry. And he was a big guy. I mean, he looked bigger than middleweight, man. But Marcin Prachnio, he can make a case if he could finish. This guy's tough. He is durable. If Prachnio can take care of it, he could very well be the next one in line. So.
Well, he is. I think with the position that he was in, because he was the guy next in line for Vitaly Bigdash, and then he got injured. Aung La jumped in. Aung La's management, smart enough, actually put a rematch in the contract. So Aung La got a second chance, took the title. And here's a question that I have for you, and I was asking that to Rich Franklin as well. Because Marcin has been quite vocal about his situation in one championship on social media, that he would like to be released or get a fight and that he's healthy again. But it seemed to me that, of course, you can't not know everything, and only a few people knew that Aung La had the rematch in the contract. Do you think it's such a smart idea to be that vocal about your promotion where you're still under contract when you basically are next in line for a title?
I mean, I would think not, but at the same time, I mean, there are just some things you just don't say. But at the same time, maybe it's just, smoke and mirrors. Maybe he's just starting a fire just to get some attention. I don't know. I can't speak. Maybe he doesn't really want to be. Maybe he's just upset. Who knows? I mean, but, I don't think it's the best thing. But it's still going to be an interesting fight, though. I mean, he's still fighting. I mean, so it's going to be pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see that fight, of course, but I would also like to see to win him to get this story a little bit further. I want to see him fight for the title in the end. And he comes off 3 victories in one championship. He made his debut in February 2016 with a win over Alexander Machado, and then by TKO, by the way, then a decision win over Leandro Ataides. That was quite a fight. I can remember that one. That was in May 2016, and then August 2016 against Jake Butler was his last fight. So he comes off a long break here as well. And talking about Ataides, he comes off a flying knee win against Egyptian. What was his name? Do you have his name by hand?
What do I think? It's Muhammad Ali.
That's such an easy name to remember, and I couldn't do that. But that flying knee was vicious. I used it as a thumbnail for one of my podcast episodes. This is just a guy, man. You don't want to stand across him in the cage because he's just a machine.
He's intimidating.
He's very intimidating.
I mean, I was talking to him backstage, post-fight interview. Very polite, very kind as could be, but God, if he gave you a scary look, man, or he was just mad, you wouldn't want him to be mad at you. But he's a very kind guy, believe it or not, very kind guy. Mikkel Pasternak, I mean, I'm very interested. What I really like about this is you got Leandro, who's kind of like building himself back up. You got Macao Pasternak, who he has 2 losses in one. But again, he lost to Roger Gracie for the light heavyweight title, the inaugural championship. And he lost in a 3-round match to Ongla Unsong, and he's the middleweight champ now. So this guy's going down in weight, and he's trying to find his place. So, I mean, again, another guy who's lost to top competition, just like Tony. So this it's very exciting to see, because the middleweight division is just getting more and more guys, and they're all like, who could be next? We could find out very shortly.
But also Leandro is in a situation here where he comes off 3 losses and a win, the last one by flying knee. It feels like he needs to keep this upper level that or this momentum, this is the word I was looking for, that he seems to have, because you kind of don't want to lose again straight after you want to win. I mean, you don't want to lose at all, but you have this kind of momentum, and I think that is once you have a winning streak and you lose, you know, okay, that can happen. It's about how you come out of this. But then if you win and then lose directly again, this can be very depressive, I can imagine, as a fighter. You know, do I make any sense?
No, you're saying like if he just starts to get that momentum and it gets chopped off beneath him. I mean, I totally get that. I think Pasternak's in the same situation though, but to me, when I'm just looking at this match, I can't believe this might be the first match of the card and on the prelims. It just blows my mind.
Insane.
You know, I'm still trying to get through that mentally. I'm still trying to process this. I mean, it just speaks to the quality of this event.
Yeah, it's. I have to be very, very careful with my memory card so that I don't shoot away all kind of memory straight away in the first couple of fights here. That is the most important part for me. But going towards the end of the prelims, we have Rika Ishii versus Torres here. Atomweight title bout. Ishii has been just on a streak this year. She started this year with 1 championship. What are your thoughts about that fight?
I'm excited to see, and I'm sounding like a broken record, but it's always a pleasure to see Rika in the cage. We've seen her twice so far this year. We saw her at Warrior Kingdom in her debut. We saw her in Singapore at Dynasty of Heroes. And I think the cool thing is, in those 2 fights, she's demonstrated a very awareness about the cage. She's done some great stand-up. She's gone on the ground. She's submitted an opponent. She's TKO'd one. She's proven she's not a one-trick pony. She's proving that she's versatile, and the training she's been doing with Shannon and the Bangkok Fight Club or Bangkok Fight Lab, and down at Tiger Muay Thai, she's on the right track. And I don't really know too much about Miss Torres over there, but
she's 1-0. She's a newcomer.
Yeah, I think she was actually I think this match was supposed to happen actually earlier, but I think she was forced to withdraw actually back in I think it was at Dynasty of Heroes. So it's great that we get to actually see this one come out. Maybe Jamari's the one who can stun her. You know, maybe Torres can give her another dimension. I don't know. It's kind of a little bit of a wild card, but it's just great to see the growth of Rika, and you know, we get to see her take on another newcomer, and can she continue that ascent? You know, so.
I wonder how that's going to be for Rika to fight again with her contact lenses, because she had some problems with her eye in both of her previous fights, and maybe that is something that you want to adjust, because she always seemed to be a little bit annoyed by it. I'm not saying she was complaining, but it's something that you don't really want to happen while you fight. we will see how she solves that. And once we talk about Rika, we also have to talk another fight that I think is a sleeper on this card. Shannon, her boyfriend, of course, versus Robert Lisita, man. That is one hell of a fight. One brawler, if you want to say so, and one entertainer. So I can see the danger with Shannon actually getting caught, because he is an entertainer. That's what he loves to do, not only with his entrance but also in the cage. And Robert is just somebody who doesn't stop to move forward. So that can be very, very dangerous here for Shannon at this lightweight bout. Definitely a fight you don't want to miss out on.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say someone's going to get knocked out, because these guys have well-rounded skill sets too. I mean, both of them have won by submission before. Both of them love to throw. So this is the only thing I can tell you is no one's going to be backpedaling in this match. They both love to come forward. So
and
I think someone's going to lose. You know, I mean, I don't know. I don't think this will go to a decision, man. I think this could be fireworks. This could be fight of the night right here.
I think this could also be a do or die fight for Robert Lisita, and I hate to say that with fighters, because of course they always want to do what they love, which is fighting in this case. But Robert comes off a 4 losing streak here. The last one against former title challenger Eve Ting at One Championship Unbreakable Warriors in September 2016, lost by decision. And this is a do or die fight for him, man. I really hate to say that, because he's such a kind guy. Another dude that you stand across of and looks mean, but once you talk to him, he's just a cool dude. And his other loss comes against Timofey. That was in the first round. That was that 6 seconds loss. So what do you think does he have to change in his game to actually come back on a winning streak?
Man, I think that's a question for Rich Franklin, dude. I mean, he's the expert on that category. I couldn't even say what a fighter or a mixed martial arts needs to do to, I think, just overall improvement. But I mean, you know, a specific one skill, I couldn't tell you that, man. I mean, maybe, you know, I think it's just constantly evolving. If he's constantly evolving, that just might be the ticket. But again, I mean, he's gone up against Timothy. I mean, he's got Shannon now. I mean,
Marat Gafurov was another one of his loss, and we all know about Gafurov coming to him in a little while. So it's not no names that he lost against too. And Shannon is not a no name either. A very, very interesting fight that you should definitely not sleep on. Thailand versus Australia here. And as always, I think with Rika and Shannon on the same card, we can look forward to two amazing entrances, because they always give you a show.
Yes. I still never forget that Pokemon Go entrance. That was kind of epic right there.
Yeah, I enjoyed that very much. I wonder where he does get his costumes from. I have to ask him once I'm in Macau. I'm actually gonna fly out tomorrow.
You know what? For all we know, he might have a sewing machine, and he might just be like knitting these. You know, that would be great. Actually, next time I talk to Sean, I'm going to ask him that. Where does he get the costumes at?
Maybe he's just really, really good at sewing. Who knows? Maybe a hidden hobby. Nobody knows.
That'll be. We should get him on the podcast and ask him.
Well, he was doing a podcast with now I suck at names straight away. We are talking about Mark Abbott's podcast, who is the former co-commentator for Full Metal Dojo. He had Shannon on the podcast. Unfortunately in Thai, and Pompot Thai Neat Noi, so I didn't really Khao Chai, which means I didn't really understand. So I need to learn a little bit more Thai. I've been talking about this for ages, and I need to stop talking about it and doing it. I'm trying my best.
Sudi Cup. Sudi Cup.
Let's move on to the two main events here. Co-main event from Surabaya, which is the event that should have been taking place in Indonesia July 29th, but then because of logistic problems couldn't really happen. We were all a little bit disappointed because Akhmedov has been out of the game for so long. Moraz has been waiting for this rematch for a very long time as well. So everybody was a little bit disappointed, but it didn't take long for One Championship to actually announce that this Flyweight World Championship unification bout is gonna take place as a co-main event in Kotai, at the Kotai Arena in Macau, August 5th. Moraz was basically fighting pretty much a year ago, pretty much in Macau, same place a year later. Will he get his belt back? That is my direct question to you. I don't know how you think about predictions and stuff like this, but that's my straight question.
I could never make a prediction, man. I mean, I can't do that because, I know it's in Macau and I know there are casinos there, but I'm not going to put money on that one, especially with a contest like this. Look at the last match they had. That was split decision. Some people thought Adriano won, some people thought Akhmatov won. So maybe we'll get a more definitive answer this time around. Maybe everybody will. I mean, these guys both have engines. They can go for a long time. What's going to be very interesting is we already know Adriano. He's definitely looks much more advanced in the cage than he did a year ago, or 2 years ago, rather. I'm sorry. As far as Akhmatov, the interesting thing here is, he was injured.
Yeah, tell me a little bit more about that story, because I've seen loads of footage on One Championship's website, onefc.com. Can you explain a little bit more exactly what happened? Because it wasn't really a normal injury.
No, he came from a wrestling background in Kazakhstan, and they're very well known for their wrestling. The thing about it is he, at 15, I guess he had some back injuries, right? And I guess the typical wrestler mentality is I can just continue on through it, whatever, right? But it seems that when he was in Albuquerque, sometime I believe in 2016, he was training with Jackson, right? Greg Jackson Wink MMA in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Yeah. He re-aggravated the injury. And it was very painful for him. I think at one point he actually thought about contemplating retirement, but he overcame that injury. It was back hernia, I think it was diagnosed as, but he overcame that, and now he's in Phuket. Your stomping grounds of Phuket. And,
it's a little bit further south in Thailand. I'm based in Bangkok.
Yeah, I know you're based in Bangkok, but every now and again you're like, hey, guess where I'm at?
I'm somewhere where you're not. I'm at the beach. Yeah, man, that must be an amazing place to recover, actually, Phuket.
Yeah, you're too busy partying with Mike Swick over there, but...
Who, by the way, just recently started his own podcast.
Oh, yeah, I did read about that. Congratulations, Mr. Swick, if you are listening.
Mr. Quick Swick.
Mike Swick. But he had a back injury. He overcame that, and he relocated his family to Phuket, where he's just training there full time. And actually, I think Shannon and Rika are doing some training there too, which is quite ironic because they're all going to be on that same card. So that was the injury. And when I was alluding to Timothy before, and it's just, how do you respond to that injury? How will it play a factor? I think it'll be maybe more traumatic perhaps for Timothy, but for Akhmatov, I think in order to do all the training he's doing, you need to have a good back. So I'm sure he'll be more confident about that. So it'll be interesting to see how he has changed and how he's improved his game since he last competed in November 2015 against Adriano for the title.
If that hammering in the background continues 5 more minutes, I'm gonna take a short break here for 5 minutes, go over there and tell them to shut the fuck up, because otherwise I'm gonna wanna be MMA their face. We are podcasting here.
Wait, I thought it was a ghost named Roberto. Isn't there other ghosts there now?
Well, I'm gonna tell the ghost. Well, in Thailand they are very afraid of ghosts, so you don't really talk about that.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Well, now you know. And talking about knowledge, because knowledge is power, some people might have been wondering where Andrew Leone has been, and he had a back injury as well. Luckily, through yoga, as he puts it, he is back in the game and immediately gets a title shot against the guy you just mentioned, Bibiano Fernandes, who is, the longest reigning champion in One Championship. And Andrew himself is undefeated in One Championship. He comes off 3 victories, all of them by decision. So what can we expect from this fight? It seems to me grappler, jiu-jitsu versus power striking.
Yeah, but Andrew's also he's a former collegiate wrestler. He's got a black belt now, so and both of them have pretty good stand-up. But BB's been sharp. How's Andrew going to respond? He's had some time away from the cage, no doubt. I just think I love how this kind of comes full circle in a way, because Akhmatov defeated Moraes defeated Eugene Tokero. Then he was going to square off against Andrew Leone. at Heroes of the World in Macau last year for the interim title. And then he had to back out because of that injury. He got healthy, and now he's in Macau a year later against BB for the bantamweight title. And, we got the flyweight world unification match now. So I think it's just kind of like poetic, the way this has kind of come together. You know what I mean?
I totally agree. And I have to take a break here. I leave you with a little bit of music for 2-3 minutes because I'm going to go over there and tell the ghost to stop hammering. It's quite annoying. They didn't do any construction for the last couple of days, so I was pretty convinced that this was over. I hope you don't mind. You can maybe rebrew your tea here for 1 or 2 minutes, and we will be back in a couple
I'm out of tea. I need some more.
Then you have the chance to get some more tea. I will put on the music for a short while here, and I will be back in a minute or two.
Sure. Yep.
Schniggy Booby, I am back. Bear Frazer, are you there?
Man, were you yelling at them in German?
I was yelling to them, at them, in my best German I had. Ja, Sie müssen aufhören! Das ist kaputt! And many other cruel words. Now they sit down there and cry. That is just what happens when you hammer through my podcast.
Oh man, you're like a heartbreaker over there. You're like a 6'7" heartbreaker.
Yeah, man. Heartbreak Hotel, Elvis Presley. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of breath. My apologies for that. That has never happened before, but that's also why I mostly record my podcasts in the evening, because in the evening everybody is kind of done with their work. They just want to chill. Whew! I've been exercising every morning, 4:30, 5:30 in the morning, and I'm still out of breath.
How do you get up that early?
Huh?
How do you get up that early? How is it possible that you get up that early?
Well, it's German discipline, and then I just go to bed a little bit earlier, and on the other hand, it's like, it doesn't really take that much once you think about that, because all you need to do is just to sit up, stand up when your alarm goes off, don't do anything else, and then just go to the park or go to the gym, because once you're on your way, you're awake, and then you're just doing what you do. It's not really that hard. It's just the first 1 or 2 times, and I've been doing this for a week and a half now.
I give you props, man. The only people who get up 4:30 and 5:30 in the morning in America are old people who want to run. And I mean, like power walk.
Well, normally I always wake up at 6 in the morning. That is because when I was running the hostel in Laos, I always had to be the first one up. And then I started to go up here, and there was an old guy actually in the park, because there's a bunch of Thais. They run really early in the park. And he was kind of angry at me, but then he saw that I keep on coming to the park because I do my workouts in the park, not in the gym. And so he got a little bit more respect. I got a little bit more respect, basically a little bit more for each other. And then I thought, I'm going to be before this guy to gain even more respect, because that is what it's all about here in Thailand. You need to gain people's respect. So I started with 5:30. Was the first one of the two of us, but I don't know if he is very competitive or not. He started to do the same thing, so this week I had to start to actually go up at 4:30, because it's like a 4 or 5k walk to the park, and now I have the upper hand. But if he beats that again, I'm not gonna go up at 4 or 3:30, because that's just too early for me.
Excuse me, wait a second. Do you hear what you're saying? You're essentially saying right now to me that the earlier you get up, the more respect you get from the hood. That's what you're saying.
Well, I'm not competing with my hood. My hood is completely friendly. I respect them and they respect me, but I just have this inner small competition going on with this old guy who's running in the park and lifting weights. Because here in Thailand, in the parks, you get you free weightlifting if you want. So I'm competing against that guy. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's a funny small competition. Maybe, I don't know. It's, some people when they get older, they get lonely. Maybe he didn't have interaction with other human beings for a very long time, and just maybe I'm his highlight of the day, because he's definitely mine. Especially when he smiles at me and said, "You got me again." And then I feel I don't know.
So it's like a friendly rivalry. It's not like he's mad that you're like pumping iron for him then.
No. It's just a fun thing, man. I love to pay attention to these small things. It's the same thing. We have a elderly home not far away from here, and there's one old lady. She's always sitting outside by herself, and there's a lot of traffic going on. And I have my way past there whenever I get my coffee. And I never really see anybody greeting her. And she's always sitting there behind the bush in front of her window and just enjoying the traffic. So whenever I pass, I just greet her. We have a short exchange with my broken Thai. And that always makes her smile. And it's about the details, man. That's why I call this podcast Surrounded by Details.
Well, here's a detail for you, man. See, Thailand's a little bit different in America. Like, I go to my gym, right? Mm-hmm. And you could probably just take a seat. You see the weirdest stuff. Like, they're scavengers at my gym, man. They're a bunch of savages. Like, somebody could, like, walk away from the squat rack, not even done. Somebody will just jump in the middle and they'll just start using it. And it's, like, a big, bickering argument between the two. Like, people are, if somebody leaves a machine or leaves a rack or leaves a weight, somebody will jack it, man. And it's violent, You got couples who just like start making out near the machines. It's like the wild, wild west of weirdness.
I can imagine that, throwing weights instead of guns.
They're like naked old men just chilling in the locker room, just chilling there as if they're like, like they're a flagpole, just greeting people like at Walmart or something. It's weird, man.
Well, here it's a little bit different. In the park, if you actually go to a gym, I can imagine it's pretty much the same. And I recently mentioned that on the podcast. I don't know who I was talking to, but I kind of need to go to the gym because I need to be a little bit more social with people in my age and not people who are half dead. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. I mean, wait. By half dead, are we talking about people who are near death, or are we talking about vampires?
We talk about people who are near death. Some of them might even be vampires. That's probably the reason why they go to the gym that early, because it's still dark.
It makes all the sense in the world then. You know? I mean, just don't tell Buffy.
You are upset with Buffy, aren't you?
I love Buffy. You know what? Hopefully I get married one day and I have a little girl and she'll be the Slayer and I can be her watcher and I can train her to be the Slayer. That'd be awesome.
Wow, that sounded so wrong in so many ways.
How'd that sound wrong? What? Have a little girl and she's like, by the time she's 15, she like murders vampires and I train her how to murder vampires. I think that's amazing.
Mm-hmm. So talking about vampires, and I'm sorry for my audience if we drift off here, but if you ever have witnessed a podcast with me and Bear Frazer, you know that the conversation at some point will lead somewhere else, mostly to his mohawk, but sometimes also to other subjects. And something I recognized with you on your social media not long ago, a couple of days ago, maybe a week ago, you did some stand-up comedy. So is your stand-up comedy mostly about vampires and Buffy, or what is your stand-up comedy all about?
Oh man, I haven't done stand-up in about 8 years or so, but I never did a vampire joke, but I've come close to really thinking about it over the years. I desperately want to grab the mic again because I think back when I was doing the stand-up, I was about like 23 or something like that, and I was just kind of like on this mission. I was going to film school, I was doing screenwriting, I was working as a journalist in New York City, and I was also doing stand-up comedy workshops and doing some shows and open mics. So I felt like the pressure of the world was on me to exceed at the best level, right? In every single one of these categories. And stand-up is so hard, man, because you can come up with good jokes, but if you don't get the laugh you want or whatnot, you can just kind of like freeze up. But it's hard. I had some good experiences with it. I've learned a lot of things, and I feel like I'm at that age now where I'm a lot more relaxed and a lot more mellow. So I think my timing's a lot better. So I think I would just, maybe I'll go back and grab the mic here in one of these next couple of months, man. I've been really leaning towards it. So
well, you should do that because I would like to hear some stand-up comedy of you. And you know what? I think the guy was not threatened by my German words at all because he just started to hammering again. However, we just gonna walk through it because the audience most likely won't hear it as loud as we do while we record live. And with that being said, where were we before I started to give my German threats to the rest of the working world? We were talking about Andrew Leone versus Bibiano Fernandez, but I think we pretty much said it. We have the longest reigning champion in one championship in the bantamweight division versus a guy who has been waiting for his shot at the title for a very long time. Definitely, if I look at all the card, of all the great fights that are taking place in Macau, this is definitely my favorite. And I don't say that because it's the headliner. I say that because I'm a big fan of Bibiano's work in the cage, and I want to see Andrew fighting. I've been visiting Bali MMA. I know how they work over there. They're all cool dudes. I would like to see Andrew in the cage, and that's why I don't want to make predictions, and I don't know how people can do prediction who are involved in fighting, because they're both awesome dudes, and I feel like I'm hurting somebody if I give a wrong prediction. You know what I'm saying?
You don't want to like ruffle any feathers, especially since they're all these nice individuals in the MMA world. So you don't want to, and plus like they can all kick you in the head, even if they're like short. So you don't want to get on their bets.
That's true. I have to grow up a little bit more in order to distance my head from their feet. That is for sure. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Kings and Conquerors card for Macau, August 5th, 6:30 p.m. at the Cotai Arena at the Venetian in Macau. Prelims are free on Facebook, so make sure to tune in on Facebook One Championship and witness the prelims, who could basically be a whole card for themselves. That is an amazing treat by One Championship to put it out there for free. If I wouldn't be there in person by myself, I would be glued in front of One Championship. And with that being said, let's move on to Kuala Lumpur, August 18th. In Kuala Lumpur, of course. We talk one featherweight world champion, Marat Gafurov, is gonna take on and try to defend his title for the second time against Martin Negin. Now, again, if you look at this card of the main event, what fight are you most looking forward to? And I think I know your answer.
You probably do. Do you want to say it?
I can say it. It's Reese McLaren versus Kevin Bellington. I've been drooling all over this match for I don't know how long. I can't wait to see that matchup. For the people who don't know, both of these fighters have been fighting Bibiano in the bantamweight division before, got defeated. In my opinion, Reese did a better job than Kevin in his chance to gain the title. It was an amazing fight, great entertainment. In my personal opinion, I thought it would be an immediate rematch, but I'm not the matchmaker here, and I'm not really angry with the decision that One Championship made here, or Matt Hughes in general. Kevin the Silencer Bellington versus Reese the Lightning McLaren. I mean, that is not only a battle of two amazing fighters, that's also a battle of two amazing nicknames, because one is so fast and the other one just shuts everything down and silences you. Am I correct in my assumption that this is your most anticipated fight of this card?
You actually are not.
Then it must be Keanu Suba versus Christian Lee.
Yes, it is. That's the one I'm most excited about because this has been like a year and a half in the making. It's been set up about 2 or 3 times previously, and
Hmm.
for one reason or the other, injuries prevented it from actually going through. But I'm too invested in this, so I want to see it. I definitely, that's the one I really want to see. I mean, Keanu's been ready. I know he had an unfortunate injury back in April that forced him out of the match with Christian. Christian's been dedicated to his training.
Hmm.
These guys have both really wanted it. This is going to be bananas. It's going
Yeah,
to be fireworks. These guys
100%.
they both have great ground skills. They both have great stand-up skills. They both,
Hmm.
um, when they win quick. So, I
I.
mean,
Hmm.
somebody's going to go to the upper echelon of the featherweight division. This fight, you have two prospects on the rise.
Hmm.
One's going to move forward to that upper echelon, and it's going to be a quick one. So that's why I'm really excited. I mean, they're so talented. I mean, Keanu's really young. Christian's only 19, I think. So,
Yeah, Keanu is 22.
so yeah, I mean, this is like the future champion possibly could be decided here. To be
Yeah.
honest, I mean, future title contender, maybe a future champion. So this is going to be one to watch.
Yeah,
Definitely.
both of them are definitely one of the most promising young talents in the One Championship featherweight ranks. And Keanu Suba, for the people who don't know, is a former Mima featherweight champion. And in his most recent bout, Suba actually trumped fellow top prospect Ahmed Mujtaba of Pakistan. And as you mentioned before, what is going on today? Hammering and drilling, and I don't know what is going on. My apologies. However, we're gonna make it through. Christian Lee was supposed to face Keanu Suba for a couple of times, but Keanu Suba got injured both of these times, and now it's finally time. Again, you said it's gonna be a quick one. I disagree, because if you look at Christian Lee's last fight, you kind of had the feeling that after his loss against Martin Negin, he was taking it a little bit slower than normally, and I think you learn your lesson from that. So maybe we're not gonna see that quick of a match here.
Okay, yeah, I definitely misspoke. What I meant by, I mean, we could possibly see a quick one was what I meant to say. My apologies. But,
Mm.
I mean, knowing these guys' histories for it quick, it could very well end quickly. But, I mean, this one could go, these guys have the energy and to go the distance there.
Mm.
It's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, and why is it that you prefer that fight instead of Kevin Bellington versus Reese McLaren?
Well, it's not that I prefer that fight necessarily. I like all the fights, but I mean, I think it's just Keanu and Christian. We've been trying to see this for a while now. I think it's been like a year in the making. So I kind of feel like it's about time we finally see it. It's kind of like the best way I can describe it is when you've been told for a while, hey, you're gonna go get this candy bar, right? And then like, oh, it's sold out. The candy bar sold out at the candy store, and then they restock and they're out of it, right? And then like 2 years later, it's like finally you get the candy bar you've been wanting for 2 years. So it's kind of like that, you've been wanting to see this for a while ever since you heard it was going to happen. And it's just you get too invested. The best way I can describe it, Steve, is I was watching a show. I was watching Orange is the New Black, right? And I watched the
Your
full
comparisons
season.
today are amazing.
No, dude, no, check it out. I was watching the first seasons of Orange is the New Black because I heard all the hoopla, right? I'm like, all right, let me watch this, right? And I started watching it, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. All right, it's a little soap opera-ish for me at times, but okay, cool. It's cutting, it's thrilling. Sure, it's drama. Okay, cool. I'm done season 1. Let me see what the first 2 episodes of season 2 are. And then before I knew it, I was just too invested in it. And there were like 3 seasons, and I'm like, I'm already here. I might as well finish it. And I did. And then I'm like, now I need to see season 4. And then when season 5 came out, I'm like, I must see this over the weekend as I write all weekend. So it's kind of like that. I'm just too invested in it. And I mean, but unlike Orange is the New Black, I'm more excited about this match.
All right.
Definitely more.
Well, I can't really speak against it because it is definitely one of my favorite matches on that card, even though, again, prefer is the wrong word. I would not top it over Kevin Bellington versus Reece McLaren. That's all I'm trying to say, but it's definitely up there. And again, we have a massive stack card here in Kuala Lumpur, and the match that I need shortly to talk about is, of course, Emilio the Honey Badger Urrutia from the US of Trumpland. He is a mixed martial artist from Miami, Florida, 30 years old, made his professional debut in 2013 and has since produced a solid 9-4 record. And yes, I'm reading that straight off the press release. But the reason why I want to mention that why I want to mention Emilio is because he's training down at Tiger Muay Thai, so another contender from the south of beautiful Thailand, and he is gonna face. Who is he gonna face?
Edward Kelly.
Edward Kelly, there we go, yeah. The ferocious Edward Kelly, 33-year-old. Has been a while since we saw him in the cage as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's been, how am I thinking back at Age of Domination? Yeah, Sonoto, yeah.
Has been a while. Is for Team Lakai trained as well, and Team Lakai is just a team that is on the run. Basically two teams that are on the run here. I mean, down here in Phuket, where you have all the gyms on one road, basically you have Phuket Top Team, you have Tiger Muay Thai, and a bunch of other training camps close by with AKA Thailand, talking about Mike Swick before. It seems to me that not only the rivalry between fighters is starting to gain more momentum here in Asia, also between gyms, because you have very strong gyms now, not only Team Lakai and here in Thailand as the gyms I mentioned before. Bali MMA is just another place, and then in Malaysia you have places there as well. And
you got Monarchy MMA, you got Evolve MMA in Singapore.
Exactly. So how is that going to work? How's that going to work out?
Are we talking about the rivalry with gyms, or are we talking about this match?
We're talking about this match and the rivalry of all the gyms.
I mean, I think the rivalries are just going to continue, man. I mean, it's kind of exciting to see what's going on in Thailand right now. It seems like they're really taking to the sport. I mean, I'm not there. I don't have the bird's eye view like you, but just seeing dude, we were talking about Akhmetov, we were talking about Shannon, we were talking about Rika, now Emilio. I mean, Tiger Muay Thai, they're growing it, man.
Yeah, and Thailand. Sorry.
No, it's looking good right now. I mean, I'm excited to see the growth in mixed martial arts over there. Very excited.
Yeah, Thailand has a lot of stuff going on, and speaking about Thailand, we also have former one strawweight champion Dej on the card. I'm not going to pronounce his last name because that is impossible. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, you can do it. Come on,
Amnural Siroshoki. No, and it's too bad, man. It's too bad. I don't want to butcher any name. Damn. You should really come to Thailand. You've been talking about this for so long, but you really know how to pronounce names. So I can imagine you would be really, really good at Thai. However, Dejamrong is going to be back in the cage, coming off a loss here against Joshua.
Pasio. Oh no, he's coming off a win. Actually,
let me check my share doc. Who was he fighting? What did I miss out on?
He fought in Singapore against Adrian Matthijs.
Oh, yes. I was not in Singapore. I was a little bit on the bench by one championship the first half of the year, so I'm very happy to actually be back. Can't believe I missed out on that fight.
It was a good fight, man. I know, it was a memorable finish. I think there was an injury timeout of sorts. I think it was because he got kicked in where the sun don't shine, but he continued and grew wrong, finished him.
Yeah. How motivated do you think is Dej Damrong? Because he's also reaching an age and the amount of fights where it's, kind of hard to get motivated. You had the title and now you kind of are a little bit further away from the title than before with the loss against Joshua. Maybe now with the win over Adrian, you're a little bit closer again. But how easy is it to motivate yourself at the age of 38 for another title run?
I'm not close to that age, so it's hard for me to say, but Kru Rong's always been a heck of a competitor, and I think if you just look at the year 2017 right now, this is his third fight. This is his third fight in 6 months. So I think this is the most active he's been with one, actually, to be honest, or in mixed martial arts, rather. So, I mean, if he's already coming back and he's got like 3 matches in this quick of a time frame, then
well,
I think it looks pretty good, man.
Yeah, he had a run of 4 fights within 6 months in 2014, but that was 3 years ago. And he is 7-2 currently. And to be honest, I don't really know that much about Robin Catalan. He is 6-2 as far as I know, and he is same as Keanu and Gianni Suba. He's on the same card as his brother, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we got 2 Catalans and 2 Subas on this card.
Maybe they should face each other at some point. But that's different divisions.
Are you talking about like a tag team?
That would be amazing. Tag team MMA, has that ever been done before?
I think the Subas would be in trouble because they're 4 Catalans.
Okay, that sucks. But yeah, Philippines, man. Sorry, I didn't really know what to say. But yeah, as I said, I don't really know that much about Robin Catalan. I don't really remember that I witnessed a fight with him live before. One Championship King of Destiny. That was in April. That was in Manila, correct? Well, I was in Manila, so I actually saw him live there, or I was backstage taking pictures. However, he is two fights in with 1 championship, 1 win, 1 loss. Can't really say anything about him. Do you have anything to add to this? Otherwise, I would like to continue to the next match.
No, I mean, I think this is going to be a great opportunity for Robin because he's got that. He's also improving in his last match. You know, he was known as the Catalans are known for their wushu, right? And we saw a lot more of a grappling game coming from him. So him going up against Kru Rog, I'm very interested to see how he's going to react, what his game plan is going to be going into the match. I think it's a big opportunity for him. I mean, this could be a big coming out party for him, or Kru Rog can continue his destruction, his demolition. You know, I mean, I know he had those 2 setbacks, but it seems like he's been going strong from the start of his MMA career, and it seems like after these 2 slip-ups, he might be on his way back. So can he continue his ascent, or will this younger guy just derail him and make a name off of him? I mean, Kru Rog's only lost to Pasio. He's only lost to Nato. I mean, and they were very, very competitive matches. And that match with Josh, I mean, it was a split decision, if I do remember correctly. So it's not like he got dominated or anything like that. It was a close fight. So, I mean, if Robin can defeat him, he could definitely catapult himself into, you know, maybe eventually the title contention. But it'd be like, hey, this guy's a new threat at strawweight crown.
Yeah, that's what what I was saying at the beginning of this episode. There is coming more and more fighters into the 1 championship rooster, and that obviously translates to their cards because, as you mentioned too, it's just one crazy card after another. And in comparison to the US of Trumpland, strawweight here in Asia is a little bit more well watched than in the States, because we have the Demetrius Johnson situation and a bunch of other people saying it's not that interesting. Here in Asia, that's complete different because we are having smaller guys on site here. I don't know if that makes any sense what I'm trying to say, but you get the idea, hopefully.
Steve, when are you going to start fighting, man?
No. I will never. Well, I will fight with this construction dude if he doesn't stop the construction in the back. That's for sure. Actually, I called out Dukes on my latest podcast, and then when I had the podcast with Aung La, I said I should fight him as well, throwing my camera at him in the cage. So I'm making a bunch of call-outs here, but nobody seemed to take me serious.
Why are you calling out? Why are you so angry?
I don't know, man. There's just some, I don't know if that's my German mentality. There's just some anger deep within myself that needs to come out. And who knows what way. Maybe that's the reason why I go up so early and go lift weights and run a little bit, because I need to get it out.
Why don't you just challenge the old man at the park?
Now that is a fight that the people of Thailand want to see. And yeah, I'm not big of a fighter, man. I fight with words. Knowledge is power. There is no power in the guns. The power is in the books.
Absolutely. I agree with you, man.
And talking about power here, let's move on. Actually, one of my best mates, his last name, and this is a true story, his last name is Power. Now that is a pretty cool last name.
That is a pretty cool last name. But you know what the only bad thing is? Every single time you introduce yourself to somebody, people are going to think, is that your pro wrestling name?
Man, I would take that. I mean, if you have a name like this, you have to compromise at certain ends. And if it's only that, I would definitely go with that.
I would change my first name to Lethal, so it's like, what's your name? Lethal Power.
Oh, well, again, we already know that you would call your kid Buffy or something similar to that. So you are full of great ideas when it comes to names.
That's a great name, Buffy. Now I got ideas. All right.
I mean,
that's on the list.
How deep into Buffy are you? Would you even call your son Buffy, or just if you have a girl?
Let's not go far here. You know, Buffy's actually a nickname for Elizabeth, from what I read. So
okay. So we know if you have a girl, she would be named Buffy. If you have a guy. If you have a boy, he would definitely have a mohawk.
Yeah, maybe I'll just call him Angel. Who knows?
Jesus Christ, what's going on in this episode? Let's come back to this amazing Kuala Lumpur card and talk about Gianni Suba versus Japanese martial arts sensation Rico, the outsider Shibuya. Now, being a sensation, can you really call yourself the outsider?
Only if you're Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, I think. But only Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, I would think. That's an NWO reference. But what's interesting here is this guy hasn't competed in about a year and a half.
Do you believe in ring rust?
To a degree, I do. Some people get it. I mean, I've interviewed many mixed martial arts in the past, and they said cage rust, I guess, cage rust in our situation is a very real thing. So, I mean, it depends. I mean, like, you can train all you want, but getting in the cage is a different story when you're, like, battling. For some guys, it's very real. For some, it's not, you know? I mean, others, the switch just turns on. Others, you need some matches in the cage first. So I think it plays a role. It's different for everybody, I guess. I guess we're going to see if it's a very real thing for the outsider.
Yeah, but Gianni has been off the cage as well, because he had a wrist injury, a hand injury, I think almost a year now too, since he last fought.
Yeah, well, he last fought at not Throne of Tigers, Unbreakable Warriors. That's right. That was my first one championship show, actually.
Yeah, how long have you been with one championship now, by the way?
Actually, right now it's August 1st here in America, so it's officially 1 year as of now.
All right. And as the drilling gets heavier and you typing me a message on Facebook here that your time is limited, let's keep on going on this card. And yeah, we already talked about Kevin versus Reese. That is my favorite on this card for sure. Something I want to talk about real quick is the return of former title contender Aguilan, the alligator Tani, who's gonna fight the Sheriff Mohammed, which nickname is the Shark. So basically we have an alligator versus a shark here. Depending on what shark you are, most likely a white shark, the most deadly one. It is a battle of killers here. Where do you see Aguilan coming back? Because after the loss against Ben Askren, he switched his game a little bit and came to the US of Trumpland to train over there. And he is going to come back to Kuala Lumpur actually at the beginning of fight week. How much do you think can he develop his game over there?
At Team Quest, I think it can develop it quite steadily, man. I mean, they've been in this well-established camp for like 15, 20 years, man, and that's not taking anything away from Monarchy. I mean, just there's a lot of veterans in the MMA game who have a lot of knowledge that he can soak up. What really is interesting to me about this is Aguilan. He seems like he's in a great place. You know, I spoke to him recently. Seems like he's in a great place. He's having a great time out there in California. But we look at Sheriff Muhammad. That guy's last match was at light heavyweight, and now he's going down to welterweight, which seems a lot more natural for him. So I'm really excited to see how he's going to go up against Aguilan. I mean, I think we got a preview clearly against Igor, but that's 2 weight classes above. Now he's going 2 weight classes down. That'll be very interesting. I mean, will he be more exhausted? Will he be more alert? Will he be a lot more ready for it? So is he still going to have the same power? It's a very interesting setup we have going on with this one.
Yeah, for me it's always the most interesting to see how you come back when you actually get defeated, and especially when you get defeated in a title match. And with that being said, it's not only Aguilan I'm looking forward here to. It's of course Eve E.T. Ting is coming back. He fought at the beginning of the year Eduard Foloyang in a great match, and unfortunately lost by decision, if I'm not mistaken. And he is gonna fight a 39-year-old Japanese veteran from Tokyo, another Suzuki, Nobutatsu Suzuki, and he is...
Look at you! You're like a pro at this naming now. Look at you.
Boom, boom. But dude, you and me and the audience, we all know that I'm having my information sheets in front of me and basically just reading off them. Otherwise, I would never remember this. There's no way in hell, of course. I've said it many times before. The only reason why I have my passport is so I can remember my own name. But coming back here, Suzuki is the former 1 welterweight world champion. At the age of 39, again, I am not really sure if that's the age to actually come back. Not sure, but this is most likely the only fight where I will actually make a prediction, and that is Eve Ting by knockout in the second.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not making any predictions. It'll be very interesting. This guy, welterweight title holder, right? Or
But 39, man, it's just so hard for me to get into my head that you can still be that motivated. And I don't know, man, if you're younger and you come off a title loss, you want to get back there, you just have that inch more of motivation. And sorry, I'm on a ramble here real quick, but I just want to let this out. I mean, all the people who are fighting in the cage, they are very talented, but in the end, it is about who wants it more, and I just can't see how Eve Ting cannot be motivated about this.
I mean, he's definitely motivated, but you look at guys like Randy Couture, you look at guys like Kotetsu, who's like 40, and he's still hungry as ever. You got Kru Rung, who I believe he's 38. He's hungry. He's still doing well. I mean, sure, there's going to come a time when age catches up.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to discount a guy like Suzuki out.
You should never count anybody out. That's the beauty about MMA. It only takes one hit at some point. And that leads us, or brings us straight to the main event. Marat Cobra Gafurov, the guy who is known for his submissions, versus 20-year-old Martin, the Situation Negin out of Sydney, Australia. This is a rematch as well, and a rematch that I'm looking forward to a lot, because they fought before, but Martin was was taking that fight on a very short notice the first time. How do you see that match playing out? Because Martin has been on a run here. He stopped the hype train with Christian Lee, and I can see him very much as a title holder. But the question is he gonna be the next generation's title holder, or is he gonna beat the Cobra?
Like Martin likes to throw, he likes to strike, but he's also well-rounded too. Marat's a grappler, and he lives up to his nickname, the Cobra. Definitely, he loves that naked choke, man. So this is going to be very, very to watch. I mean, Marat's he's been looking great. I mean, there was a time where he kind of seemed like a little exhausted in one of the matches against Jadamba, but he's always rose to the occasion. I mean, Martin's just been unstoppable. 4 first-round stoppages recently. I mean, that's quite amazing. So now's his chance, man. I mean, I think Martin, the pressure's on Martin right now, because
I agree.
He feels like he's the underdog. He always feels like people are underestimating him. He lost to Marat in 41 seconds or so, like a few years ago, even on short notice. Now's his chance for redemption. Now's his chance to the title. Now's his chance to give the only blemish to Marat's record.
Yeah.
So
A question here that is on my mind before I let you go. Now, if Martin would lose, I'm not saying he will, I'm not making any prediction for this fight, but if you lose twice against the title holder, how far does that take you away from your next title match? I mean, that is a very hard road and very long road to walk.
I mean, it's tough. I mean, this is the thing. Murad, I think, is like 31 or 32 years old. Martin's only 28. I mean, Martin might be in his prime now, might be a year away from his prime. I mean, he's getting to that age where it's about to get even more exciting, right? So, I mean, who knows if Martin were to lose, hypothetically, and Murad is retains his championship, he might lose it in his next match or like 2 matches from now, or who knows? Maybe Martin goes on another impeccable win streak and he can't be denied after like 6 first-round stoppages, I mean, it's kind of unpredictable, but I think he just has to go with, the best situation. If he wins, great for him. If he were to lose, he's the type of guy where he's not going to quit. He's going to keep on until he reaches his goal. I mean, there are instances where, like, people who've lost twice will get that third match, and I mean, I wouldn't count anything out, but this is going to be a great main event. It's got a terrific storyline, multiple storylines, and I think, Kuala Malaysia has got some magic at Stadium Negara August 18th.
Yeah, and as you said, Martin has to go with the situation, and that's why his nickname is The Situation. A matchup that I can't wait to see, and as I said so many times on this podcast, I can't wait to be in Macau. I'm leaving tomorrow. I think my flight is 10 a.m., or I'm pretty sure my flight is 10 a.m., because I'm always sure about my flights. And then I will be heading to Kuala Lumpur for this crazy August, for this crazy month of fights. Now, there are rumors that we're gonna have an event in Shanghai. Nothing has been confirmed yet. Ben Askren is willing to defend his title eagerly against the Swede who took out
the sweetest man, as he says, yeah.
Yeah, Santos with a vicious knee. I'm looking forward to get some more information about if that's going to happen or if that's not going to happen. And I seriously need to stop saying I'm looking forward to, because I say that a lot. But hey, that's what I'm really doing. I'm looking forward to many things. And that is also what I did with this podcast. I was looking forward to finally do a podcast with the man himself, Bear Frazer, again. Thank you so much for joining me on this one and to drop some knowledge on us, to share your ideas and thoughts about all the matchups that are about to happen. And I will let you leave now because I think it's bedtime for you over in the United States.
What are you talking about? I got a lot more work to do, man. So
yeah, you're a night owl. You are the Buffy of MMA writing.
I got some Buffy to watch right now. What you talking about, son? So
how much Buffy do you watch? Do you watch a day? How many hours?
I haven't really watched Buffy lately. I've been binging other shows. Like I was watching Dawson's Creek, but I just can't with that show. I can't. So I was watching Riverdale. That was a nice little ditty over there, and I'm going through from dusk to dawn. But I mean, I watch everything, man. I mean, I watch most things at least. But if it can't hold my interest after a while, or if I just think it's so pointless, they're complaining too much, I can't watch it. Like Dawson's Creek. I mean, Dawson, why is he complaining? His life's pretty good. I couldn't do it.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Dawson's Creek, Buffy, all those names mean nothing to me. I can hear your disappointment in your voice.
Buffy should be something to you. Maybe you're a vampire. Maybe she's trying to slay you. Maybe that's the deal. Are you a vampire?
Well, I'm pretty white, but that's mostly because I'm inside and spend too much time in front of Photoshop. So once I hit the sun, I actually get brown and I don't die. That's, as far as I know, I'm pretty comfortable in the sun. That's why I'm living in Thailand. Otherwise, I wouldn't live in Thailand. I would live in Finland or Norway or somewhere else where it's getting dark quickly.
Touche, my man.
That's what we're all about. Touche. We're going to see some Tachi in the cage, ladies and gentlemen. Macao 5th and August 18th. Macao 5th, sorry. In Macao, August 5th, and in Kuala Lumpur, August 18th. Bear Frazer, once again, thank you to you and your Mohawk for joining me. I'm going to let you go. There he goes, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See ya. So, that was it with Bear Frazer. What a wild preview episode this was, but the reason why I do this is because I would like to introduce people a little bit more to the characters of One Championship fighters and athletes, because that is what you need to do. You need to support what you like, and if you like this podcast, ladies and gentlemen, please do me the favor and subscribe to us on, wherever you want, iTunes, YouTube, Podbean, Stitcher, or SoundCloud, where you can download all our episodes for free, audio only, but it is for free, so shut the fuck up. And on the other hand, we're only recording audio at the moment. As I said on our previous podcast, the studio will be back very soon. And something else that I need to correct, by the way, before I continue my outro here, I said 2 episodes ago that this episode will be the last episode, but I forgot to add that I actually meant this is going to be the last episode before I have to go to Macau. So of course there's loads more to come, and we have, just as One Championship, nothing less than spectacular guests planned for the rest of the year, from international best-selling authors to, I don't know, just inspiring people who can hold their breath, to magicians, and many things more, expats. I don't even know where to start. However, there is more social media to subscribe to. You can find me on Twitter as well, on Facebook and on Instagram. All you have to do is to look for Steve Bonhage, STEVBONHAGE. And if you're not a social media person, or you don't really like iTunes or YouTube or whatever, don't you worry. I thought about all the solutions. You can just go on my website, www.stevebonhage.com. Steve Bonhage, again, STEVBONHAGE, where you can find all my work, from photography work, MMA photography, maybe the best MMA photography in Asia, maybe even the world, maybe even the universe. I don't know, because opinions and taste is different from person to person. However, I hope you liked what I'm trying to do. I hope you like my work, and if you do so, please subscribe, share, and do whatever else you need to do. But whatever you do, be awesome, stay awesome, be friendly, and just smile at somebody you don't know. That's it for me. I'm out. See ya!